Welcome back to the Grand Lodge Media Centre. Thank you for Matt and his crew for putting this on again. Those of you who aren't aware who I am, my name is Peter Kerwin. I'm the Grand Master, Grand Lodge of Western Australia. And I'd like to welcome back all our brethren and our friends that watch these videos. I'd first like to start on the issue of COVID-19. For our brethren and friends, you do realise that especially what's happened in Victoria, we have to be aware of what could happen at a very rapid moment. Some people think that we have to wait for Grand Lodge to send out a notification of what they can do and they can't do. So after speaking to the COVID Steering Committee, I'm issuing a directive that as of right now, if our state government issues a lockdown in any region, all Lodge Masonic activities will stop in that region during the government lockdown. The government has the power to stop these, not just Grand Lodge. So we will have to follow government requirements. So please don't wait for a letter from the Grand Master or Grand Lodge to say whether you can have a rehearsal, have a meeting or have a function. If you're in a lockdown area, you must abide by government regulations. And that's a directive that will be followed up in future correspondence from Grand Lodge. So please, the state government is the authority that makes that decision, not Grand Lodge. And you are, as a Masonic organisation, are to follow that. On top of that, I'd like to encourage all lodges to make sure you're continuing with your QR codes or your health requirements and precautions and checks. As we saw in Victoria, things can change very rapidly. And if we make sure that we've got all our QR codes in place, and I can see down the track, if something comes out in Western Australia, we could have an audit to find out who is doing QR codes and who isn't. And I want to make sure that we are taking the best precautions we can to protect our members. The next part of COVID-19 is regarding the vaccines. Things are rapidly changing. The criteria is widening very quickly. And I'd like to inform you that I have had my first COVID vaccine. I had it in the first week of April. And I'm due in a couple of weeks' time to have my second one. And actually my wife's having her first shot this afternoon. That's obviously with the AstraZeneca. I have no problems with that. I didn't have any ill effects whatsoever. But again, it's your choice, but we do encourage you to, whatever choice you make, please get your vaccines done as soon as possible so we can actually lead the way in getting a good percentage in our community. Next issue I'd like to talk about is the Masonic Charity Outlet, the MCO. As you know, we have two shops, one in Cannington and one in Mount Lawley. Our Mount Lawley store just recently moved, and it's a new shop that's opposite the IGA, the 24-hour IGA, just near the corner of 2nd Avenue and Beaufort Street. And it's right next to the Good Semis. So please go along and have a look at the store. It does require a bit of assistance. We are looking for 7 volunteers to do 3-hour shifts. So it's only a 3-hour shift. We need 7 volunteers to help out with that store. It has been a great success since we've moved, and it's only been going a couple of weeks, but it's showing really positive signs. If this continues, we may be looking at opening up another site. But again, we do need more volunteers to help out. It's not just Freemasons, but Freemasons, family, friends. If you have somebody that needs assistance or getting work experience or is involved with the fashion and just wants to get involved with the retail side, you don't need any previous experience, but you can come along and learn. The staff there are very good, very easygoing, and are also willing to help. We're also looking for more donations. And we're looking at good quality donations of the clothes, bric-a-bracs and so on that can go in to the Mount Lawley store. Because of the success we've had since getting to the new site, we are desperate need for more quality donations, so please bear that in mind. The next issue I want to talk about is the grand installation. This is on October the 30th at the Pan Pacific Hotel. And a lot of people have had some feedback about, the Pan Pacific is getting bad press. Well, I'm afraid it's not actually. It's just the section and the way they rule certain doors and everything else. But people outside those quarantine area in the hotel have not been affected. I've attended a number of functions there, and so have quite a few other Freemasons. The hotel is split into two zones, a red zone and a green zone. The red zone is the quarantine zone, and that has been dictated by the state government. The indication from the Pan Pacific is hopefully everything will be settled and cleaned out before the grand installation, but even if it's not, there are two separate sections to the hotel. They're operated under separate equipment, separate air conditioning, and separate lifts, and they're serviced by separate people. So please feel assured. But with regarding to the actual installation itself, we are looking to have a good number of local brethren and family and friends come along to the installation. You can book online. We've already had one email go out regarding the bookings. There will be another one coming out shortly with more details. So I encourage you, please come along to this. We have changed the format to allow people to operate just for a weekend. We used to have it on a Thursday night, Friday afternoon installation, a Saturday banquet. We've moved it now to a Friday night meet and greet, Saturday midday, 1 o'clock for the installation, and then Saturday night for the grand banquet. So you don't have to lose any work time. Again, I'd please ask you to look at this and register online. The last issue I'd like to talk about is Canteen. This is Lorraine's charity fund. Since we had a year off, the amount of income coming into this was been reduced a fair bit. But I'd like to thank a couple of people. The late Frank Sontag is one, and his partner. They've done a great amount of work. We've still got some money coming in from the people that committed to the $150 a year to Frank's cause to help out Canteen. And that some of that is still coming through from the lodges. So thank you to those lodges. I'd also like to thank Fred Geldhard for the organising of the Masonic Charity Day, a golf day. And they raised and contributed to Canteen $5,000. And it was a great success. And I think Fred should be congratulated wholeheartedly on the effort he put in for that. And I believe it was very well enjoyed by all those that participated. We're also going to be holding a quiz night on October the 8th at the Vic Park Masonic Hall. And Neil Harris is running that, and you may have seen that through Facebook. There's posters in every lodge hall. So please book a table. Numbers will probably be limited. We'll probably be limited to about 120 people. The way the numbers are going so far, it'll be interesting to see whether we have a sold out capacity. So please organise a table, organise a name for your table, and register with Neil as soon as you can. What we're looking for too is any support for our other charities as well as Canteen. If you're going to send something into Grand Lodge, most of our charity work is done through the Masonic Foundation. So if you're going to support Speak Up Awards, you're going to support Canteen, the Bill Babe Memorial Fund, or the Disaster Relief Appeal, please mark it out to the Masonic Foundation and then the name of the charity after that, whether it's Canteen, Speak Up Awards, Bill Babe Memorial Fund, or education grants, or whatever. So I'd appreciate that. Those can be sent directly into Grand Lodge Masonic Foundation. So please, appreciate that. Finally, I'd like to thank all those brethren that have been working with me and supporting me during the COVID-19 situation and during my term as Grand Master. It is quickly coming to an end. I must admit, it's not what I expected, but what we'll have to do is to work with our new Grand Master, the Grand Master-elect, Right Worship Brother Daniel Gannon, and his team to make sure that we get further and further to a solid position and that we can build an organisation that's resistant to sudden changes that we've had to go through in the last 18 months. We have a lot of brethren coming in. I'd ask all of you that are currently Freemasons to be patient, not to criticise, but to encourage, to welcome everybody into our order. And bear in mind that we have stood by the principles and tenets of our craft for hundreds of years, and this won't change. But people's personalities do, and we have to make sure that Freemasonry and the principles and tenets behind it prevail. So thank you one and all for all your support. Unfortunately, this month alone, I'm going to be receiving 4 warrants of 4 lodges that are closing. This is the sign of the times. I think some of those were under a bit of stress prior to COVID-19, and numbers and finances have proven too much for them. So these warrants will be stored at Grand Lodge. Hopefully in the future, we will see lodges grow. But in the meantime, with our numbers, I think we have to be practical and look at doing decent-sized lodges with decent-sized amount of membership that can look after incoming people, new people, on a good one-to-one or a mentor basis. And I look forward to working with all of you in the future, and I look forward to seeing you at the Grand Installation. So thank you for your attention. Goodbye, good luck, may your God go with you.